Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here tonight. We are at Daytona, but not the regular oval. We are at the road course. In the booth with me tonight, changing it up, we have Jesse Becker in the booth. Jesse, how you feeling?
Well, honest to God, I'm feeling pretty under the weather, but I'm glad to be here tonight to witness this season finale here of MCR. It's been a blast watching you and Christian broadcast these races, and I'm glad I can tag along for the season finale as Christian happens to be in Darlington right now watching the NASCAR Cup race.
Yeah, absolute slacker. I mean, I told him I was going to deny his time off, but he still went anyway, so he's got some serious consequences to face when he gets back.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be him on the other end of that, but qualifying wrapping up here, and we've got some news as far as the GTP championship goes. It was a points battle. If did you say it's Michael iRacing or Michael iRacing?
Let's just call him Michael iRacing.
Michael iRacing, he pretty much locks this thing up as long as he turns a lap here tonight for the GTP class. Alex Lalonde in the GT3s, he locked it up last week. It's confirmed. He could have not shown up tonight and still won. But as far as the LMP2 class goes, we got a battle to watch between Casey Catola and Daniel Nans tonight because they're going to have a battle. Only 80 or so points separate those two.
Yeah, and like usual, they qualified right next to one another. Casey Catola in the third position with the LMP2s and Nans in fourth. So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out there in the LMP2.
And Sean Aikens coming in with a blazing fast time in qualifying for that class, 0.3 of a second ahead of the second placed. Whatever you said his last name was, I'm not going to try it. Nate B there in the second place in LMP2. And of course, Alex Lalonde, there's a reason he won the GT3 championship. He was a 0.4 of a second ahead of anybody else in that class.
I think he said it was Benarowitz, but I'm going to stick with Bejnowski because I think it sounds better.
I like it. Sounds good.
But that's going to wrap up qualifying here tonight. We are about to jump into tonight's starting lineup here. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys tuning in here. Hutchinson Motorsports TV, world's #1 streaming service, bringing you the season finale for Motor City Racing IMSA Series. This is going to be a good one. Like Jesse mentioned, some championship implications here tonight, and we are just about ready to get gridded up here.
I am so excited. Looks like we have a short pace lap, so that might be a little bit interesting for us, but we'll do the best we can.
Yeah, we're going to wing it here, but in the background, the patented Hutchinson Motorsports TV tunes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your starting lineup. Kicking things off for the GT3P class with 9 cars here tonight. Front row going to be the 96. Ian Drennan on his outside. The 55, Sam Trotter. Row number 2 going to be the 10. Dominic Ford on his outside. The 26, Christopher Damcolor. Row number 3 going to be the 7. Jeremy Reese on his outside. Your champion for the GTP, the 57, Michael iRacing. Braden Carlson, Julian Padilla, and rounding out the field, Alan Golison.
Fifth-year LMP2 class, it's going to be Sean Aikens and Nate Bejnowski in row number 1. Row number 2 is going to be Casey Catola and Daniel Nans, your championship contenders. Row 3 has Michael Hickman and Marcus Taylor. Row 4 going to be Jason Denault and John Espada. Row 5 is Matthew Elmore and Graham Gorley, and then rounding out the LMP2 field is Jordan Miller.
And jumping into your GT3 class, your GT3 champion on the pole in the 72, Alex Lalonde on is outside the 56. Miguel Torres, row number 2 on the inside, going to be Tyler Merritt and Caleb Ulrimo. Row number 3 on the inside, the 12, Cody Williams, the 22, Marco Benetti. Row number 4 on the inside in the 33, Eric Jeffrey, Jack Peterson. Row number 5 going to be Corey Surtoff, Scott Smith, Cameron Fader, Tom Smith. Gonna round out your field here tonight. That is your GT3 lineup and the rest of the classes. Jesse, are you ready?
I've never been more ready. I love the road course here, and we're getting ready to drop the hammer. That pace car is going to come off any second, and these GTPs are going to be let loose.
Yes, sir. And like if you're just tuning in here, these classes are separate. So we got them split up here. So the GTPs rolling around, ready to get going here shortly. Into the zone. Green flag in the air. GTP action underway.
Ian Drennan getting a huge jump. He's going to have a heck of an advantage into turn 1 as the LMP2 glass going across the stripe now. There's a 3 or 4 car battle at the front of that field.
Well, they're duking it out heading into turn 1, and then the GT3 taking the green flag. Alex Lalonde leading the pack. Let's jump around, see what's going on as they're duking it out in the GTPs already.
We got Chunk in the back of that field. The the purple and white car got spun around. Not sure who that was, but there's action already.
Looks like Jack Peterson. Well, no, never mind. That's a pit road, so I'm not sure who wrecked.
That's unfortunate for whoever it was, but that, like you said, it definitely got spicy quick. We'll see if these guys can get spread out here.
Yeah, Ian Drennan starting to pull away a little bit, and then we jump back here. GT3 battle for the lead right here between Alex Lalonde, Miguel Torres. Lalonde might have some competition here in this GT3 class tonight.
I'll believe it when I see it. The man didn't even have to show up tonight, and he would have had the championship won, but we'll see if there's anybody that can compete with that Ford Mustang of Lalonde.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on Miguel Torres. I believe he's out of Puerto Rico, and he's trying to look to the inside of Alex Lalonde.
He's got the run here going through the oval part of the track, turns 1 and 2, as you know. But you're a NASCAR watcher, he's going to have the momentum coming onto the backstretch. We'll see if Lalonde forces something into the bus stop.
And then jumping into the LMP2s, your battle for the championship here. CK Casey Catola in the 2nd position, while Daniel Nans has fallen back to 5th.
Yeah, the only way that Nans has a chance at winning this championship, he needs Casey Catola to have some trouble. Catola needs to finish at least 5th place or worse for Daniel Nans to have a chance. Even if Catola finishes 5th, Nans needs to win the race in that class.
Well, Jesse, all I know, though, is Matthew Elmore is junk. Let's just see what happened.
Looks like he got hit by the bus stop hard. That car looked like it was in a bunch of pieces.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah, that thing is destroyed. Immediate tow for the 89 car Matthew Elmore there. Immediate tow.
This reminds me of the last time I hopped in one of these LMP2s, Jesse. You know, you go into the corner here a little bit too hard, kick sideways, nothing you can do then. Wham!
Well, and that's the thing you don't think about. You practice and practice and practice, and you run the same exact line on all your practice laps. You know, perfect line going through that bus stop. And then you get in the race, and there's somebody next to you going into it. You got to adjust that line a little bit. You might not be used to it, and it'll bite you.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, how about Sean Akins right now at the front leading this LMP2 class? Boy, I don't think Sean's won yet in this LMP2 class this season, but he's looking for his first one of the season as he's out front right now.
Yeah, he may not have won, but he's got that purple time on the board in the class. I mean, almost 2 seconds faster than anyone else I'm seeing there on the board. So looking good for the 3:32 there. Sean Akins in that LMP2 class, running a good race so far.
And sitting in second, we've got a battle for the overall lead developing here. Dominic Ford in that number 10 car right on the back bumper of Ian Drennan.
Good battle brewing there between the BMW of Ford and the Acura of Ian Drennan. Neither of those brands would I probably buy in real life, and neither do I own either of them on iRacing, but those are some sharp looking cars. And these GTPs are loose early on these cold tires, but they're starting to get some heat in them.
100%. Let's jump around a little bit, going over to the GT3s. One of the fan favorites, we got Rexy back here. He is running in 11th in the GT3 class.
Cameron Fader there, car number 34 in one of the more famous paint schemes in racing. I mean, I don't hardly know anything about IMSA, and I know about this car.
It looks like John has spotted a crash. Let's see what happened.
He had some trouble, I noticed, with qualifying, so we'll see if that stuck with him here for the race.
Oh.
Ooh, it looks like he just locked him up. He was going to run into that car in front of him and just sacrificed his own race instead of dumping the other guy, it looks like to me.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to dump him for sure right about here. Or maybe he did get into him. I don't know. All I know is he loops it around, but he's able to keep it rolling. Hopefully there's not too much damage there.
Yeah, most likely no harm, no foul. I'd certainly think if he didn't get on the brakes, there was going to be even more carnage than there was. Is there somebody off to the right there in the grass? Who's that?
Marco Benetti. Doing burnouts.
That is a beautiful paint scheme, but I wouldn't say it's a good one on the lawnmower.
Yeah, unfortunately, Benetti, straight from Italy, looping around, taking a ride in the grass. He's going to get that thing back rolling, but we drop back here to the LMP2s. Casey Catola, known as CK, sitting pretty good in the second overall position, trying to wrap up this LMP2 championship with the MCR here in season number 3.
Yeah, Casey Catola, known as CK around here, he's the guy that runs the show pretty much for the MCR series here. So if anyone's familiar with the point situation, it's going to be him. He knows that as long as he has a good finish here and stays consistent, he's going to have the LMP2 championship here at the end of this race.
How about this battle for this GT3 lead here, Jesse, and between Lalonde and Torres? These guys have been bumper to bumper since the start.
Yeah, it's a good race. I see that Miguel Torres is a member of Vice Motorsport, the same team that the gentleman, who was it in the other GT3 car that went mowing the grass in that Mercedes, Marco Benetti. I believe they're on the same team. Hopefully, Miguel Torres has some better luck than Benetti.
Absolutely, and then dropping. And, you know, I'm kind of, you know, Lalonde is going to be driving for Hutchinson Motorsports TV next season, which, you know, I'm always rooting for him. But Miguel Torres is in one of those good-looking BMWs, and as well is Tyler Merritt. So I kind of got a soft spot in my heart for him.
I do know one thing, and that's when it comes to iRacing, you are definitely a BMW stan. You love those things.
Look, Jesse, I didn't even realize. How about this? Steve Tucker signed in here tonight. Didn't even know he was in the field running 9th in the GT3s.
He's driving a candy apple red Mercedes. That thing's looking sweet. He's got Rexy breathing down his neck, trying to gain on him there, get the pass done. But 9th is a pretty good result. I believe it's his first race in this league, unless he was good.
Absolutely his first race, and he's, you know, he's smack dab in the middle of the pack between 17 GT3s. He's running 9th, but one thing I know, you know, Harpoon Design, he is not a big fan of these road cars, so I don't think that paint was made by Harpoon. So I wonder if Steve would have whipped that one up.
All it looks like it is to me is just some color thrown on there with a couple logos and a spec map, but that's all you need with that thing. It looks sweet.
100% jumping back here a little bit. Boy, this is one good-looking car, Jesse. He might be fast. Tom Smith, or he might not be fast. Tom Smith running 13th right now. But look at this paint job, Jesse.
That Ferrari certainly has an interesting scheme on it. We noticed it earlier in practice, and we were certainly wondering what the heck we were looking at. I have a question for you, though, real quick, with his name, Tom Smith. How many of those do you think are on iRacing?
There's no telling, Jesse. I bet there's a couple dozen of them.
I believe there was somebody in this race. I'll have to see if I can find his name again, or if he's racing there. Yeah, he's 2 laps down in the GT3 class. Scott Smith. He has the numbers 50 after his name, so he is the 50th Scott Smith to sign up for iRacing.
Wow, that is definitely crazy. You know, there are some common names in the field here tonight, but I'm going to try to take the drone around here just to see if I can find it.
Our drone budget is starting to get real slim, so just
don't worry, Jesse.
Christian's been trying to tell you, but just be careful.
I'm flying around Tom Smith. You know, I'm gonna try to give our fans a better look at this paint job here. See if I can take it down on the track a little bit.
Oh well, watch out for the fence.
That was tight. But yeah, take a look at this paint job, everybody. What is going on here, Jesse?
That looks like an endurance racer's dream. To be able to have the toilet right there with them when they drive, so they don't have to worry about getting out of the car, getting up to use the bathroom. Even got the Charmin there ready on the bottom left. I don't know if you noticed that. On the roof too.
A great touch here. You know, Tom Smith looking to find some speed, but he's at least got the paint down for us.
Back of the car says when you gotta go, and I agree. When it hits you, you just gotta go.
And how about Jason Denault here, currently running in about the 5th position with our LMP2 class. Not a bad night for Denault.
I see it says Denault here is from Canada. We've got a fair share of international drivers here in the MCR. Is that correct?
Absolutely, including our new overall leader here, Dominic Ford. Not even sure where he's from.
says Jamaica there, bottom left that I can see.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
what.
He's got a 1.2-second lead now over Ian Drennan, so I don't know if it's traffic or what, but he's starting to run away from that Acura.
Yeah, Ford really putting it on him right now as Sean Aikens continues to lead these LMP2s out front. He has a 3.2-second lead on CK.
Yeah, like you said, he hasn't won this season so far. You got to be wondering if you're Catola, where did this speed come from? Because he's running his race and he's just taking off from the rest of these guys. He's got the biggest gap of any class leader right now by a good margin.
And boy, how about these two still battling, Jesse? They've been basically bumper to bumper since the start here. This is the battle for the GT3 race lead. Lalonde and Torres, first and second.
Yeah, our GT3 class champion not able to get any separation. Will Torres make a move here? He's just going to use the draft. They might be trying to make it a two-car race here.
I don't know, Jesse. I think he's a Super Speedway Series fan. He's doing some bump drafting around that oval.
Hey, if you're going to bump draft, those might be the cars to do it, the GT3s. I wouldn't try it in the LMP2s or GTPs, but you might be able to with the flat noses and flat bumpers of those cars.
Absolutely. We're dropping back here. Tyler Mantle had a great move last week. I'm sure you saw it, Jesse. What have you been seeing out of this 37 car so far?
I try my best to keep track of everything going on in this series. I know that there was some interesting wrecks that have happened in the last couple weeks, but I got to admit I can't remember exactly for sure what happened with Mantle.
Well, Jesse, what happened, I'll tell you. You know, an LMP2 was passing Tyler Mantle. He didn't appreciate it. He wasn't very happy. He ended up punting him.
Well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to assert your dominance a little bit.
100% jumping around. Looks like Michael Ford crashed earlier here. Let's see what happened.
FJF Racing number 36 making his way back onto the oval.
Slide
just
job.
Overcooked a little bit. Yeah, as you say, slide job for sure. Managed not to get run over by anyone else. Thanks to no damage he carries on.
Yeah, and then Michael Hickman just crashed it here. Let's see what old Hickman had up his sleeve here in that 97. Oh.
Racing there in front of him. Does he throw his name in the hat? Oh!
The guy comes down a little bit, and Hickman slammed his brakes to avoid him.
That's the second time in that same corner we've seen somebody spin their own car out to keep from hitting somebody else. So a lot of give and take in this league.
See, Tom Smith here supposedly crashes. Oh, there it is. Right there. That's going to be a people killer right there tonight, it looks like.
Thankfully, he was already on the toilet for that one.
Yeah, so we're racking them up right now. The off-roads, looks like we're rolling right now. Let's jump up front here. Your race leader, Dominic Ford, getting through some traffic.
It only takes a handful of laps here at Daytona, and next thing you know, you're catching the slower cars. And look at the mess that Ian Drennan's got to wade through right now to try to get back up there to Dominic Ford. There's about a pack of 6 or 7 cars there, all different speed levels, just fighting each other here.
Boy, that's got to be tough. You know, that's probably the hardest thing when you're in these fast cars, trying to navigate around you really got to pick your battles. Oh God, this guy's sending it in there, but you really got to pick and choose your battles because you obviously know you're a lot faster, but you don't want to put yourself in a bad spot.
Well, Blake, I know that you're such a well-established road racer and such an expert when it comes to these cars. If you're out here doing this multi-class race, so do you want to be the fast guy and have to work your way around the slow cars? Or do you want to be the slow car and just let the fast guys do what they need to do and just kind of survive? Or do you want to be in the middle like the LMP2?
You know, Jesse, we got one off the track there. I believe that's Tom Smith. But, you know, Jesse, I just have too much talent to be in the slowest car. So if I'm out there, I'm taking the GTPs out and I'm trying to win this thing.
That's understandable. You got to do the classic GTP full send sometimes to get around the slower car. That definitely seems like something up your alley.
100% is Sam Trotter. Boy, I tell you what, Jesse, I don't know if you know this about Sam Trotter, but this guy lives and breathes anime.
Oh, does he? He's big. Him and Aaron Poplin would get along really well, is what you're saying. Oh, look at that send.
Yeah, he's sending this thing in there. He loves anime. I tell you what, Jesse, the only time he stops watching anime is while he's doing these races here with MCR because he loves it so much. But he did tell me he's always got it on in the background.
I was going to say, if you're so dedicated to your craft like that, these things I'm sure have digital dashes on the wheel or in the dashboard. Just throw your show on there.
Let's take a look. Oh, I don't know. We can't really see to the right there, Jesse. You think he might have something planned?
Yeah, he might have some Yu-Gi-Oh on there, or some My Hero Academia, or I don't. Those are like the only two animes I know off the top of my head. It takes me a little bit to think of some names.
Yeah, the only one I know of is Death Note, and apparently the thing on the car he said wasn't an anime, but I don't know. It looks like an anime to me. But nonetheless, we're gonna jump around. Oh, looks like Jeremy Roost has just jumped it.
Let's take a look here. He's flying around that corner. You got somebody flashing the lights there in front of him. He tries to go for it.
He dumps him.
Oh man, he went for that inside move. The guys weren't ready for it, and before you know it, there's contact, and that poor GT3 just kind of got caught up in it.
You know, Jess, you got to keep these guys on their toes here. Making a move here to the inside. He dumps one there, loops it around, takes out the GT3.
That's what we call in racing a low percentage move. I appreciate the effort, but you got to think, if you think back on it, you got to say there was not a really good chance of that working out for me.
Yeah, really, probably had about a 10% chance to work. He liked his odds, though. But nonetheless, we're going to jump back here. How about Cody Williams? What are you seeing out of this 12 machine, Cody Williams in a GT3?
Sitting there fourth, he's top 5 in his class right now. Hawkwind Motorsports. Acura looking pretty good. He's trying to make a pass here for, I believe that would be third right there in front of Caleb Ori-Mal.
He's going to get the job done. Another Vice Motorsports car heading to the front here, and it looks like Miguel Torres, new leader here for the GT3s. Lalonde might have his hands full here tonight.
These two guys, I just noticed this. They're close. They're fighting each other right here next to each other on track. They've got about a 13-second lead back in third place in their class. They're throwing the Gapplebees on them right now.
Absolutely pulling it away. Jordan Miller just junked it. Let's see what happened here.
I believe that's one of Casey Catola's teammates here. Coming into the turn, has been fighting everybody. He just overcooked it.
Oh, he forgot to turn, Jesse. There was a turn there.
I've done that one before. That's going to be, it doesn't look like much, but you knock the front clip off of these cars, it takes you a little bit in pits to get that repaired, so that's unfortunate for him.
He tried to turn his wheels. He knew he wasn't making it. He is junk. No headlights either. He's done.
Thankfully, this track is lit up. You go to some of these races, and there aren't lights whenever you lose your headlights, and then you just got to pray that you can make it back to pit lane, or else you just got to tow.
Yeah, and how about Miguel Torres starting to pull away just a little bit from Alex Lalonde, lead up to a second for this GT3 battle.
Yeah, thankfully for Lalonde, he's not going to worry about a points battle. He can if he wants to, but if we know anything about the driver of that Ford Mustang, he wants to win.
Yeah, and how about Sean Aikens? I tell you what, he's in that bad, fast Hutchinson Motorsports LMP2. You know, these are supposed to be spec cars, Jesse. Well, you guys may not know this, but the Hutchinson Motorsports TV LMP2 is not exactly spec.
Yeah, we won't get into too much detail, but there's a reason he's almost 4 seconds ahead of second place Casey Catola right now. And we're just going to, if he wins this race in his class, we're just going to have him just throw into the turn one tire barrier real good.
Absolutely, and we're going to need to do something with the motor before they get a hold of it as well. But Casey Catola trying to wrap up the championship, sitting in second, just needs to stay out of trouble. He's going to get the job done. Nons 2 spots behind him. I believe, Jesse, the math, Nons has to beat Catola by 4 or 5 positions. Is that right?
Well, with the way the race points work in this league is it's scaled in a pretty interesting way. So if you win, you get 350 points, and then it goes down by 30, and then down by 20, and then so on and so forth. So basically, the easiest way to put it is Nons has to finish at least third, and Catola has to at least finish 5th or worse. So if Nons not in the top 3 or Catola's not 5th or worse, Catola's got it locked up, no matter what.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see how this plays out, but it looks like Catola doing what he needs to do, just needs to hope that nothing bad happens. And Jesse, you heard anything over the radio?
Nothing too interesting yet. hearing out of these guys. There's some chatter, but nothing I can really tell what's going on.
Just curious. Looks like Braden Carlson sends it in a little bit too hard there in turn 1. I'm getting pretty good at these turns, huh?
Yeah, that one's pretty easy to remember. It is the first one, so you got that one down pat. It's interesting that turn seems to be catching a lot of people out. You know it's coming. You've ran it about 11, 12 times, I'm sure, at this point. Yeah, lap 13 now, so it's interesting to see that these many laps in is still catching people off guard.
You know, Jesse, during the week, I did hop, Motor City Racing here, they do a lot of practices throughout the week. It's kind of a cool thing they do. I hopped in one in a GT3, and boy, it was tough. The hardest thing for me was remember when to lift for that chicane.
It's definitely tough, especially depending on the car you're in, because me, I'm an LMP2 driver when it comes to Daytona. I've done 2 or 3 Daytona 24s in that car, so I've got it pretty down pat. You get into a faster or slower car, all of a sudden that changes your brake point and you can get lost real quick.
100%, but we are 20 minutes in right now. Ford is your GTP leader with Akins, your LMP2 leader, and Alex Lalonde taking back the GT3 lead as Torres down pit rotor. It says he's out.
He might have had some sort of connection issues. I'm not sure. I can check on that.
He did not wreck. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Your race leader, Miguel Torres for the GT3s, I believe he just disconnected. That is unfortunate. He was running good. But nonetheless, though, we're going to take a short break. We're going to go Hutchinson Motorsports TV side by side, folks. Be sure to click that like button here on the video. Subscribe to the page, Hutchinson Motorsports TV. We are live 3 to 4 times every week, depending on the week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back in a moment. We are back here at Daytona MCR Racing. This is the season finale on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. We appreciate you guys tuning in here, spending your Sunday night right here on the world's #1 streaming service. Jesse, what have our fans been missing during our break?
Whole LMP2 field has come down and taken their pit stop here. We're only 27 minutes in, and these guys are coming down pit road, so I feel like that might mean we're going to have a second stop for those guys. As speaking of that pit stops, the whole GTP field has come down and taken their first stop of the race as well. GT3's yet to come down.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out, but you can see on the board we have the pit strategy board up kind of there. It shows who has stopped, who has not. So everybody in the GTP class has pit already. LMP2s once, and then GT3s looks like they are starting to head down.
It's about that time of the race and not quite halfway through, so like I said earlier, it might mean there's a second stop coming up for most of the field later on in this event.
Absolutely, and as things play out now, Casey Catola sitting in the second position for the LMP2s, trying to wrap up that LMP2 championship here with the Season 3 for MCR. As we jump around through the field here, let's see how Michael iRacing's doing here. He is your GTP champion after starting tonight, currently running in the 8th position in the class.
It's quite the interesting paint job he's got on that vehicle there. A little bit of a rainbow color going on with it. I certainly like it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's good looking here. Let's see if we can get a closer look here. I think I can make something happen.
Here comes the drone. Let's see if Blake can keep this one intact.
I'm going to push the limit here, Jesse. I think I can get really close to this one.
All right, let's see what you can do. Just, try to be careful, not let another one go smashing to pieces here on the track. But that is a beautiful paint scheme on that Porsche GTP there for Michael iRacing. Once again, as mentioned before, your GTP champion.
Absolutely, and I think I can make the pass here because, boy, I tell you what, Jesse, these drones are so fast. I'm going like 250 mile an hour.
Oh, God. There it goes.
We have lost connection. Jesse, there is drone debris on the trioval right now.
I got to say, at least you did it heading towards turn 1. Hopefully they can manage to find a gap and get some of that swept off, or else we might have some punctured tires out there.
Yeah, these guys have had enough trouble in turn 1 without drone debris, but we're going to see how it plays out as your GTP champion, Michael iRacing. Just taking some victory laps around here tonight, running in the 8th position in the class.
Him and Lalonde already locked up the championships in their classes, but they're having very different races. iRacing almost last in his class here, running 8 out of 9 cars, but Lalonde on top of the GT3 board after his only competition tonight, Miguel Torres, had some sort of connection or computer issue.
Yeah, rumor is Lalonde might have had Torres' computer or connection DDoSed to get him out of here.
He is that competitive that I could see it happening, but those are some bold accusations.
Yeah, it would not shock me, Alex Lalonde. He just couldn't handle not leading the race, so he gets Miguel Torres, DDoS, gets him out of here. Alex Lalonde leading the GT3 class here at Daytona.
The man's the top of the Hutchinson Motorsports TV power rankings for the last 2 weeks now. And I remember it was either last week or a couple weeks ago. I think it might have been Road Atlanta or somewhere. I think it was Road Atlanta. He finished second, and the disappointment out of that man was insane for somebody that finished one spot away from the win. He was basically heartbroken.
Absolutely, and Lalonde, we were talking to him about how the way he prefers to drive in the wet race at Road Atlanta. Honestly, it just seems like Lalonde is not a fan of the rain as he's heading down pit road.
It's time for his pit stop, and Caleb Ulrimo coming in for his stop as well. That might let Steve Tucker inherit the GT3 lead. No, he's going to have to come down pit road as well, so probably on the limit of fuel for those guys.
Taking a hard left there, almost overshooting the box.
Yeah, his box was way back there. He might not have been ready for it.
Looks like he's just, is he getting no tires, Jesse, or what's going on?
Well, I don't want to question too much. It might be the strat to keep the tires you're on because they're already heated up and ready to go. There might not be a lot of wear, so that way you ain't got to worry about having cold tires on your car as he begins to roll out of his box. We're over halfway at this point, so it's going to be a one-stop race.
Interesting strategy. I did see Lalande's car go up in the air, so I believe he's got some tires. So we're going to see how this plays out for Tucker making his GT3 debut here in MCR.
It's definitely a bold strategy call, but again, that has to be the only reasoning I can see is that he doesn't want to have to worry about heating those tires back up again.
And right now we jump up front in your LMP2 with your leader, Sean Aikens, out front here, leading this pack, still in front of Catola in second.
And speaking of Catola in second, the usual scene here in MCR, you've got Catola and Beznerowitz right there side by side as teammates fighting each other. Every time I tune in, it seems like these two guys are right next to each other. It changes which one's in front or behind, but they're always right there with each other.
Yeah, always battling out here. And here's Nons right here. He's hoping those two junk each other because he wants a shot at this LMP2 championship.
Yeah, if something happens to Catola and he gets catastrophic failure, Daniel Nons might be able to steal this LMP2 championship, but it's going to take a miracle at this point.
Right now we're watching Michael Hickman as the GTP leader goes out on the goes around on the outside, but right here, 3-car battle for the LMP2 position, P2 between the three. As he's looking to the outside, goes way wide.
Oh, he has to run way off the track there. I'm not sure if Beznerowitz knew he was there or if that was a defensive move out of the guy in third there, but that's certainly what it turned out to be. It threw Hickman off really bad in that 97.
Yeah, these three duking it out here again. This is for second place with the class, and a little bit behind him, you'll see Nons sneaking into the picture.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give Daniel a chance to catch up when these people are battling. It's going to make him a little slower. Because the 97 definitely looking like he's got some speed trying to get by these guys.
Yeah, Catola trying to keep these two behind him. Right now, it appears Beznerowitz is a little bit faster than Catola, but just cannot make the pass.
It's all about the setup. It's one thing to have the speed. It's just that you got to time it right because you got to have enough track to be able to get by the guy.
Yeah, absolutely got to pick your battles here as we jump around. Let's see what's going on in GT3s. We know Lalande's out front by about 8 seconds, but Jack Peterson, haven't heard much from him, sitting in second place here as he gets a little loose.
I was going to say, that was a heck of a piece of driving there for Jack Peterson, mid-shift racing 212. He got definitely sideways out of that corner. That corner's bit multiple people tonight, and he was able to keep it straight.
Yep, and it appears Torres still gone, so he has not returned back, and he's not gonna. So his night is finished here as Peterson in second and Caleb Olrimo rounding out your podium for the GT3 class.
Those Vice Esports or Vice Motorsports, whatever the team's called, those paint schemes are sweet.
Dropping back here, we saw Ford was leading this GTP class earlier. Now he's sitting in third. I'm trying to check out the pit stops. Everybody's stopped. I'm not sure what the difference is, how Ford lost some ground.
I'll go ahead and see if I can find that out for you. Go ahead and take over for a bit. I'll let you know if I find anything out.
All right, well, yeah, we'll pull up Ford the last 5. I think it'll show the last 5 laps or so if I can find it. Here's some lap time information. So he pit there on lap 18. I don't know, maybe just a slow pit stop or something, who knows, but Jesse's digging into it. We'll see what happened here as Ford, he's not out of it yet. He has a 4-second gap to second, and then your race leader another about 1.5 seconds or so ahead of him. So we got Drennan, Trotter, and Ford, your top 3 in the GTP standings.
Yeah, I can't find anything in particular there for Ford. It might have just been some bad timing for some traffic that ended up with him losing some time, but we'll see if he's able to get it back and try to fight for this GTP class lead once again.
Yeah, well, Jesse, it's time. We're watching Steve Tucker rip it around here. He drives for Harpoon Designs. Well, let's pull up. We got a graphic to show you guys real quick. HarpoonDesign.com. Head on over there. Check them out. Brantley Roden, Trading Paint's #1 painter. You can get a paint job, Jesse, for just starting at $25.
And if you look on his page and see some of the paint jobs he's made, they're $25. It's some of the best value for your money you're going to get. That is a steal.
Absolutely. And, you know, again, he's not a big fan of doing the road cars, the road course racing cars. So, like, stuff like IMSA stuff, not sure he does, but nonetheless, you got anything else, definitely check him out. As Steve Tucker ripping it around, currently in the 4th position with the GT3s.
A good run for him here in his MCR debut. That car is seeming to be bad fast.
And for the first time of the night, though, Jesse, we have a message to play our fans at home. Larry McReynolds wants to tell you something. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
We are back here, and Jesse, what do you think of that message from Larry McReynolds, America's crew chief?
It's just like he says, he would never steer you wrong. You got to subscribe. It only takes a couple of seconds. It's just one button. You got to click it. It doesn't really even do nothing for us. It just helps our numbers, and that's all we're looking to do is get this out here to more audiences.
Absolutely. You know, it doesn't give us a dime. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just go ahead. If you're not logged in, be sure to log in. Click that subscribe button. We're trying to make a push right now. Right now, we're sitting at about 669 subscribers. Looking to get to 700 here in the next couple weeks.
I believe we can do it in no time as we're about 2/3 of the way through this race tonight. Not sure if there's any close battles for position in the field, but we're going to have some pit stops, I imagine, in the GTP and LMP2 classes coming up here before the end of this race that could spice things up.
And Jesse, Michael Hickman, we saw him. He was running 4th behind Benarowitz and Katola, but he has actually taken over the 2nd position with the LMP2s, got around them both.
I'm sure that was a good bit of racing there out of Michael Hickman, but he's got a big gap there to Akins to catch up. A 7-second gap. Can we see what the lap times are between Akins and Hickman? See if that gap is closing.
I don't think it is, but we'll go ahead and pull them up here, check them out. Hang on, give me a second. There we go. So yeah, Padilla. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. There we go. That's what we want.
There we go.
What are you seeing, Jesse?
It looks to me like Hickman is making the gains on Akins. It's not much, but little by little he's trying to chop down this lead that Akins has.
And right now, Katola taking over 2nd. Not sure. Hickman down pit road.
He's going to come down, make his last stop of the race here, a little bit ahead of everybody else. Could be a way to short pit. Not sure how well that works in road racing, but I know in oval racing he could help you out a lot.
Yeah, we'll see what the tire difference is. I'm not sure how the fall off works here at Daytona Road Course in these cars, but it's going to be interesting how it plays out because we know Michael Hickman, he's been running pretty good, wasn't 2nd there before he headed down pit road.
Pit strategy will come into play somehow as we still got a decent battle at the top of the class. It's for the GTPs, Ian Drennan and Sam Trotter. About 1.5 seconds between them. But with the other 2 classes, the gap right now pretty large due to the pit stops. It's strange. It's almost identical gaps between 1st and 2nd of both the classes. 8.8 seconds right now.
Yeah, best battle on the track right now looks to be the battle for 3rd with the LMP2s. We got Nons trying to run down Benarowitz right in front of him here, about a 4/10 second gap between the 2.
Yeah, we saw Katola and Besnarowicz next to each other for a bit there. Katola kind of spreading the gap, getting a little bit away from the car, Nate Besnarowitz, or however you say his daggone name.
100%. We jump back here. Braden Carlson in the 5th position in the GTP class. ripping it around, and behind him in 6th, Jeremy Roost. I don't know. Let's go with Roost.
Sounds good to me. I'm not sure. It's Jeremy with a G anyways, so the whole thing's a little bit messed up, but having a good run, 6th place in the GTPs.
Yep, and dropping back once again, LP2, Sean Akins, your race leader for this class, and Katola in 2nd, followed by Bajarowicz in 3rd. Folks, we're going to go to a quick message we got for you. You know, season 4 starting soon for MCR here, and if you're interested in joining, take a look at this message. We'll be back in a moment.
For the first time ever, IMSA Racing, Hutchinson Motorsports TV, range Wagonaires and GTPs ripping down the front straight.
We are back here at Daytona. Jesse, how excited are you for season 4 coming up here with Motor City Racing?
I think it's a great addition to the channel. I mean, you've done nothing but, up until this point, you've done nothing but oval racing, whether it be on dirt or asphalt. So to really fall into such a quick flow, as Nate Bejnarowicz trying to pit there absolutely
Shortcut.
blows past pit lane. But anyways, back to what I was saying, for you to jump into this road racing deal, and I got to say, it's been pretty natural for you and Christian so far to jump in and broadcast in this. Again, I do apologize for myself. I feel like I'm coming down with something. I'm a little bit under the weather, but it's definitely a nice touch for the channel. It adds that different element that not a lot of places get into.
Absolutely. It's been a fun addition, you know, something new. You know, you and Christian have dabbled a little bit into this kind of stuff, so you guys know the basics about road racing, even though, you know, none of us are experts other than me, nonetheless. But also, along with this IMSA style racing, we're actually going to be doing some spot streams for Super Formula Lights. Jesse, what do you know about Super Formula Lights?
What do I know about Super Formula Lights? Absolutely nothing at all, honestly, about them. I know very little. I know that they look like Formula One cars a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah, you know, Jesse, I actually just bought the cars like a day or two ago, and I honestly couldn't tell you a single thing. To me, they look just like Formula One cars. I don't know the difference of the power. I assume they have less power than Formula One, but who the hell knows?
Well, and I'm probably way off on this, but for some reason I believe that Super Formula is something that's is Japanese. I believe in nature. I'm probably completely wrong. In fact, I'm going to fact check myself. Give me a second.
I kind of feel like you're totally wrong, but again, I know nothing. So, and Jesse, we actually have a research department. Jesse's going to concur with that research department, and he'll get back with us about some info of the Super Formula Lights. But we're going to have our first ever Super Formula Light stream here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. It's going to be with MCR. They've got a different series over there. Great group of guys, though, folks. Be sure to join MCR. But in the description, you'll see our link to our Discord. Join our Discord. We'll point you in the right direction. But Super Formula Light Racing, we're going to be live here, I believe, a week from Monday. We're going to be over at, I don't even know what the track is. You remember, Jesse?
I don't even know what day it is tomorrow,
It's
to be
at
honest
Le
with you,
Mans.
Blake.
Le Mans, I think. It'll be Super Formula Lights at Le Mans, maybe, or Spa. No, it's Spa. Sorry. So, yeah, we're going to be over at Spa a week from tomorrow with the Super Formula Lights as Sam Trotter takes the wide turn into one in first with GTP class.
I do have to say, I actually nailed the whole Japanese thing. It is a Japanese form of racing. The pinnacle of single-seater racing in Japan or Asia as a whole is Super Formula.
Okay, well, it's going to be good to see, you know, and the schedule, I kind of don't remember what the schedule is. You know, we're hoping to broadcast the entire season of Super Formula Lights for next season here soon, but We're going to see how that plays out, but nonetheless, again, we're going to be doing Spa a week from tomorrow. Super Formula Light racing here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. We got a little bit of everything now. You like oval racing, we got it. You like NASCAR stuff, we got it. And now you like IMSA or Super Formula Lights, we're there as well.
Well, it's what we always say about Hutchinson Motorsports TV. It is the #1 streaming service. Netflix is junk, Prime is junk, Hulu is junk. You don't need any of it whenever you can just have Hutchinson Motorsports TV. All those other ones, it costs money to subscribe to them. It doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe to us.
You know, Jesse, I don't even know why we do this. Why are we giving such a great service for free?
I think it's just for the love of the game, to be honest with you. That's what, I wake up every morning and I just think, wow, Hutchinson Motorsports TV gets to come up with something else today to show the people, and it's a great time.
Absolutely. We do it for our great fans at home is what we do. But Eric Jeffrey currently running in the 5th position in the GT3 class as we jump around a little bit and see what is going on. Jesse, what are you seeing out there right now?
I'm not seeing a whole lot of anything right now other than the fact that we've got pit stops happening once again in the GTPs and the LMP2 classes. You notice a different LMP2 leader, Marcus Taylor. I believe he's only got the lead because Sean Akins has come down pit road for his final stop already. And once Marcus Taylor takes that final stop, he's going to give that lead back because Akins has ran a flawless race tonight.
As we see at the board right here, Marcus Taylor is the only LMP2 that has pit once left out there, so that is exactly why. So Sean Akins going to take back that lead here in the class shortly.
And your GTP leader, Dominic Ford, definitely quit early, had the lead naturally for a little bit, but right now he's only got it because he has yet to come down pit road for his final stop of the race, so he's going to be giving that lead up here soon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how this plays out, but Sam Trotter has to like his chances, but actually we got a battle between Trotter and Drennan, which is going to eventually end up being a battle for the lead.
That's what I love to see is a good battle as those guys driving. Heck, I'm going to throw it out there just off the taillight. I'm pretty sure that's the Acura. I could be completely wrong, but like you said, they're both two top guys here taking their final pit stops of the race. It's going to be interesting to see if Drennan can make up that about a second gap there on Trotter.
And you're right there, both of them in Acuras. Again, this is going to end up being a battle for the race lead as the top two still need to pit again. But we are here with just 10 minutes remaining right now. We got some good battles throughout the field. And it looks like CK, Casey Catola, right now running 4th in the LMP2.
Yeah, we might have to double check on those pit stops one more time for the LMP2 class. If Catola stays here, he still wins the championship. But if he slips another spot or two, it really gets into question. And yes, he must have had some sort of mistake because he's lost several spots to Daniel Nans here, who is also on 2 stops now. So something must have happened to the 88 there at Catola that we missed.
Absolutely. It's going to be tight here between the two, it appears, as Nans, he's comfortably in 2nd right now. First place is 9 seconds ahead. That's kind of unrealistic. But let's see if Catola can hang on to 4th for now. The good news for him, though, he's got an 8-second gap between him and the 5th place car.
Yeah, with his advantage coming into tonight, for Daniel Nans to finish P2, in order to win the LMP2 championship, he would need Catola to finish P8 or worse.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. So we're going to see how this finishes out, though. Ford's still your overall leader, as Akins LMP2 and Lalonde GT3.
For any NASCAR fans out there watching who might not be able to see the Cup race going on right now, Chase Briscoe takes home the win at Darlington.
Yeah, it was honestly dominating performance there by him. He deserved that one.
I think he led. I don't even want to know how many laps he led. He dominated that thing, but I don't know if it was as good a domination as Sean Akins in the LMP2. I feel like that's been even more of a dominant performance.
Yeah, from basically start to finish so far, Sean Aikens out front. He's been the car to beat. Something about Daytona, he is just dialed in here. And Jesse, I mean, I'm not going to lie, Sean was worried all week about this race. He's been calling me every night asking for pointers and tips, and I've been pointing him in the right direction. Thankfully, seems like it's really clicked together, and it looks like the same advice I gave Alex Lalonde, I've given Sean Aikens, and now he is looking to win this race for the LMP2s.
You know as well as I do that a lot of it's in the paint scheme. But the better looking your car is, the faster it's going to be. And that Hutchinson Motorsports LMP2 is bad fast out there on the track. No one even coming close to him in that class.
Well, I tell you what, our three drivers, Jesse, I'm not one to brag, but you know, Lalonde, he's technically not on board till next season, but I already count him as a driver for us. He's going to win the GT3 class. Looks like Aiken's going to win the LMP2s. And then we have Ian Drennan, he's battling right now with Sam Trotter. It's going to be a tight one for this GTP overall win.
Yeah, last time we checked in on that battle, it was about an 1/8 of a second gap from Trotter to Drennan. It's cut down now to about a 4/10 of a second gap, so about half of what it was last time we checked in on this battle, and we've only got a little under 7 minutes left, so it's certainly going to get spicy. We might have a photo finish.
And I kind of wonder how long can Ford and Dam Color stay out there without having to take their second stop. We're going to find out, though. As Jesse mentioned, we only have about 7.5 or 6.5 minutes remaining.
It could come down to the wire between these guys. No battles in the GT3 or LMP2 class to speak of for the win, but we might have one for the overall because it is going to get close between the two Acuras.
Yeah, we're going to see how this lines out. Definitely a big thing that's going to come into play is lap traffic and when they get to it. We know here in the next 6 minutes or so, they're definitely going to be seeing some.
It happens way quicker than you think. You're thinking, wow, I got so much of this wide open track ahead of me. This is great. And then all of a sudden you're stuck behind 4 GT3s and you're thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to get through this one?
Looking at the board here, looks like Michael Ford has had some issues. He's junked it about 2 times in the last minute or so. So let's see what happened this last time in that 36. Michael Ford going to corner too hard, I can tell already, and wham!
Wow, that car is surprisingly resilient for as hard of a hit that was. You'd think with these IMSA cars, you'd think the whole front end of that car would become flying off, but it seemed like it hit pretty solid and didn't really budge. And it's the same corners that it always is. It's turn 1 and then it's going on to the oval where people just keep getting caught over and over and over and over again.
Yep, that happened, I believe it was the same lap. That was the start of that lap, and the end of the lap. It wasn't any better. It was actually worse.
Yeah, that first hit there in turn 1 could have messed up the aero enough to where he didn't have the grip he was used to coming onto the oval, and that could have been what sent it around the second time.
Absolutely, and it appears Ford and Trotter have both. I'm sorry, looking at Dominic Ford here, trying to see. He's off pit road here. He's still in the lead, Jesse. I don't know. He might have a shot at holding on to this one.
If he does, it's a heck of a comeback because he had the lead early, as we mentioned, and then he slipped back quite a few spots. But the top 3 GTP cars, they're all kind of in a bunch here. But Ford's got a pretty good advantage as we've got 4 minutes left in this race. White flag going to be coming out here in 2 or 3 laps. We'll see if that advantage shrinks at all.
Hey, you know, kind of surprising. I didn't realize his pit stop could be so fast. I mean, he had a 20-second lead or so, but I kind of thought that would be gone. But looking at some lap times here, let's take a look. 1 second here. So this is between your top 3, Ford, Trotter, and Drennan, all GTPs. Looking at the board here, it appears Ford has just put down the good lap times.
He's definitely been fast, and he could have played a different pit strategy, or he could have just built up a big enough gap that it wasn't going to mess with him too much. But yeah, he's looking strong, and we'll see if he can hold that lead.
Yeah, you see that last lap is due to him pitting there with 156, but he's going to get it rolling. He's got a 2-second gap to work with. I don't know. I kind of feel like Ford is probably the favorite at the moment. I don't see him losing 2.2 seconds here in the next handful of laps.
Yeah, I don't see him losing that gap, and I don't see anything keeping Casey Catola from locking up the one championship for a class that we haven't locked up already, unless we have something drastic happen. That 88 is going to be the LMP2 champion here in about 3.5 minutes. I don't want a commentator curse him, but he's looked good all night.
Yeah, and again, he's still got a 7.5-second gap between him and 5th position. So again, the only way he's really going to lose any more positions is if he junks that thing.
I was going to say, it seems like at this point the only way that Daniel Nines gets the title is if Sean Akins and Casey Catola somehow manage to both blow up at the same time.
Trouble for Rexy here, Jesse, in this replay. Let's see what happens here as Cameron Fader goes in too hard. I can tell. You know, you can always tell in these cars when they go in too hard.
Yeah, it looked like it had to have been a bit of a pucker moment for those cars around him, because he almost caught that faster car right in the rear bumper, and then that Mercedes GT3 trying to get around him had to do a little bit of an evasive maneuver.
Absolutely, is Dominic Ford from Jamaica. You know, it was a great start to the race, a bad middle run, and then a great finish. So, you know, it's been a 3-section race for him. 2 of them have been great, 1 not so great, but it looks like he is just about ready to wrap this up and take home the GTP win here at Daytona.
Yeah, heck of a drive for him. Like we've mentioned before, we thought the battle for the race win was going to come down to Trotter or Drennan, but Ford just quietly kept building his gap and then executed his pit stop flawlessly and still came out with the lead.
Now, Jesse, you have much experience in these GTP cars?
I will say I have a lot of experience in the GTP cars pre-tire model update. I don't have much experience in them ever since they changed the tire model, the most recent, where the cold tires are a death trap. But before that, I've driven these cars plenty.
And we're going to stay on board here with your overall leader, as he's got his Instagram tag there on the left side of your screen. Take a look at him. Check it out on Instagram, 212_racing, it appears. But it looks like he's probably going to be taking the white flag this time around, I'm guessing, Jesse. Is that right?
If I had to guess, that's what I would say, is that this would be coming to the white flag here, as we've got about 30 seconds left on the timer. There is not going to be a way they can finish another lap after this before the timer runs out. So it should be the white flag here at Daytona to finish out season 3, and you can see him waving it up in the tower.
Yep, white flag in the air. Just needs to make one more lap around this speedway. 2.8-second lead. Dominic Ford out front. Sam Trotter behind him, and then Sean Akins, your LMP2 leader, while Lalonde taking home the GT3 win.
Yeah, he definitely had some competition from Miguel Torres. Unfortunately, some sort of connection or computer issue put Torres out of this race and let it kind of turn into a GT3 snooze fest. Lalonde kind of flying away from everybody else, 16-second gap to Jack Peterson, second in that class.
Absolutely, and heading back to your GTP leaders. It's good to see a good turnout here for the GTPs, 9 of them tonight. You know, there's been races before in this class where there was like 3 of them.
Yeah, you'll have that happen, especially as I mentioned with the new tire model. These cars can be a pain in the butt to drive. So it definitely went from what I would consider a fairly easy car to drive with grip and whatnot to a very hard car to drive, and that definitely shows sometimes in the class count.
Absolutely, and he's heading around into turns 3 and 4 if you're familiar with the oval. Coming out of 4 here for the final time onto the track here. Dominic Ford out front in your GTP class. Your overall winner at Daytona, Dominic Ford out of Jamaica, takes home the GTP win.
Sam Trotter, Ian Drennan going to be second and third overall. It got close there, about a half a second gap between those two, but Trotter able to hold on to second.
And Casey Catola taking home the checkered, a 4th place finish for him. He is going to be your MCR Season 3 LMP2 champion.
That makes every single one of your league champions official for Season 3. Catola once again locks it up for the LMP2 class. Alex Lalonde locked up GT3 class last week. And then you have Michael Irsey gonna hold it down for the GTP class, finishing 7th tonight, but that is still good enough for the class win. All he needed to do was show up.
Yeah, did what he needed to do here. So CK gets the job done as Alan Golson here trying to finish up here, 7th place in your GTP class. I'm checking out some graphics. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So anyways, John is spotted here, bringing home 7th. But Jesse, let's see if we can get some guys here for the interview. If you won your class, please hop in the chat as well. We would like to talk to our champions as well. We got a lot of interviews to get through, so we're not going to do as thorough as we normally would. But we want to hear from our 3 winners. That's Akins, Lalonde, Ford, and then our champions, which would be Irsey, Catola, and Lalonde.
Yeah, I'm likely going to let you handle the interviews here, Blake. I can feel my voice just absolutely going downhill. So
Yep.
I think I will let you handle talking to these guys.
All right, well, hey, appreciate you tuning in here, hopping in here and joining us, Jesse, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, I'll be here for the interviews. I think I'll let you handle talking to them and everything.
All right, well, let's go ahead and pull in CK, Casey Catola, LMP2 champion. CK, Blake, and Jesse in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, fellas? How are you guys?
Hey, I'm doing great, but you did it. You got the job done here tonight. You finished where you needed to become your Season 3 LMP2 champion. How's it feel?
It feels good, fellas. We've fought off a little equipment woes there for the last 40 minutes. Wheel shut off. Yeah, didn't want to shift, so yeah, we brought it to the checkered flag, and that's that.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering what happened there. You dropped from 2nd to 4th there pretty quick, but at least it worked out for you and you were able to finish.
Yeah, we'll take it, my man. We'll take it. The bad luck rolled on all of Season 3, but you know what? Championship's a championship. 5 pulls, 0 race wins. We'll take it. They all count the same.
Absolutely. You know, consistency is key in these season-long championships. But, hey, before we head out, maybe you can talk to our viewers a little bit and tell them about Season 4 coming up and what else MCR has going on.
Yeah, if anybody is listening or watching and is interested in what they just watched, we are starting Season 4 up, I believe, September 21st. Season runs Sunday evenings. Grid is almost full. We're at 45 out of 60 cars. Bunch of other series we run here at Motor City Racing, Formula, Endurance, MX5s, ACC, F1. Bunch of fun stuff going on over here at Motor City Racing. So if you like what you saw tonight, interested in getting involved, you guys have a link in your Discord, I'm sure, that they can get involved in.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Fantastic. Wanted to thank you guys too. Huge shout out to HMS TV. You guys did an awesome job. All of Season 3. Can't wait to see you guys for all of Season 4. Shout out to the whole MCR crew too. Tyler, Johnny, Oz, GMAC, Mista, all the fellas. Appreciate you guys. Couldn't do it without you.
Absolutely. Well, hey, it's a great series. You guys run a great ship, and it's fun to see all these series going on simultaneously.
Blake, appreciate you guys truly. You guys have helped take this thing to the next level, so truly can't thank you guys enough.
Hey, but great job, though, getting the job done, taking home the LMP2 championship. Hopefully next season you can repeat.
So we're looking to go back-to-back. Your HMS TV car is going to be tough to beat, though, I tell you.
And we'll see how things play out. But, hey, congratulations again. We'll send you back down to celebrate.
Cheers, fellas.
There's CK Casey Catola, your LMP2 champion for season number 3. Let's pull in Sean Akins, your race winner. Go ahead and get him in here. Sean, Blake, and Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, not much, but boy, you put on a show out there tonight. I didn't realize you had that kind of speed here as you dominated the race, leading from start to finish, basically.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. You know, probably have about 1,000 laps on this track. We do the Daytona 24 every year, so I feel like I could do this track with my eyes closed. And yeah, man, it was a lot of fun.
It definitely seemed that way, so I'm guessing this is probably your best track then, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd I'd probably agree with that.
All right. Well, hey, that's good to see, and you could definitely tell out there. But looking into next season, season 4 starting up here in the next few weeks. What tracks on the schedule are you looking forward to the most?
Oh man, there's actually a couple tracks on there that I don't have. I've actually never done before, but
Uh-huh.
I'm probably looking forward to the Red Bull Ring.
Okay.
The Red Bull Ring's fun. Silverstone's a lot of fun. Suzuka is a tight track, fast turns. Can probably have a few sketchy moments on that track as well. So honestly, I'm looking forward to pretty much every track on there, as there's some pretty good Formula style tracks.
Absolutely, it's going to be fun to be a part of that. And like you mentioned, I think I have to buy just about every one of those tracks.
Yep. Yep. Same here. Same here.
But hey, you did a great job out there tonight. Got the job done. Parked it in Victory Lane. Me and Jesse were talking, and rumor has it that the Hutchinson Motorsports TV paint might be bringing some horsepower on the cars.
I think that's a fact, man. Ever since I put that paint on, it's something about that throttle feels a little stiffer and a little faster.
Yeah.
You can definitely see it in the results.
Yeah, well, hey, great job out there, Sean. Again, dominating this race. You got the pole. You just ran away from it from the start all the way to the finish. Before you head out, you got any shout-outs or anything to let our fans at home know?
Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys, the Hutchinson Motorsports team. Sponsoring me and a few other guys for the next season. And shout out to my MHR boys. And yeah, man, that's it. Shout out to this league, the MCR League, and CK and everybody putting this thing on. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully we can get this thing growing for season 4 and get more guys out here.
Absolutely. And Casey mentioned there's already 45 cars signed up out of the 60-car grid for season 4. So looking forward to it. Should be a great season.
Sir, sounds good.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations, Sean. We'll send you down to celebrate with the team.
Appreciate it.
Sean Akins, your race winner for the LMP2 class. As we look in the chat, see who else we can pull in here. Let's take a look. We have Mike iRacing. Let's pull him in. He is your GTP overall champion here for season 3. Let's talk to him. I thought I had him, but he just disappeared. So see if he pops back in. I'm not sure what happened. I dragged him in, and he was gone. So, all right, your winner was... I'm not seeing your winner for the LMP2. We'll go ahead and pull in Alex Lalonde, your GT3 winner and champion. Alex, Blake, and Jesse, over in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Blake. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, you did it again. Pulled off another win. Had a little bit of help with the connection error, but you guys had a good battle going there before the I can't remember who it was disconnected. Miguel Torres disconnected.
Miguel, yeah. Yeah, I was spared a little bit by that disconnect. Miguel's got some serious pace, and he was just toying with me at the start there. I was trying to give up some mistakes and have him go through so I could follow and fuel save, and he didn't want to take it. He must have had the same idea and just wanted to mess with me a little bit. And then when he did make the move and started to pull a gap, it was unfortunate for the disconnect, but it was fun nonetheless for the little bit. I hope to see him pop in maybe in a GT3 in the future again.
Absolutely. And again, you pulled off another win. How many wins on the season is that for you?
Oh God, I think it was 6. I had the crash at the home track, CTMP, that put me in 7th, and then obviously the debacle at Road Atlanta last week out that finished in 2nd. But it was 6 on the season, which was nice.
Yep, pretty good season. Looking back, hopefully next season, season 4, you can pull off a repeat.
We're hoping for the defend, but I'm going to be out the first 2 rounds, so it should spice things up a little bit. Worst case for me is one guy wins the first 2 races and builds a big lead, but it's looking like the competitiveness is ramping up a little bit. We got a bunch of new drivers in for next season, so hopefully they fight it out the first 2 weeks, and it leaves a little bit of a door open for me when I come back for the remaining 6.
Yeah, hopefully so. But, you locked this championship up either last week or the week before, but it has to feel pretty good to get the job done, bring home the championship. Before you head out, we round out the season. You got any shout-outs?
Yeah, as always, shout out to my beautiful wife for putting up with me hiding in the basement in the sim all the time. And shout out to the guys at 3 Point Racing and MHR, the two groups I run endurance races with. And finally, shout out to MCR, this fantastic league, and CK, who is the spearhead of it all, putting it on and pushing it forward and growing the popularity here.
Absolutely. Well, hey, congratulations again. We'll send you down. You get to celebrate for two different things tonight, a win and a championship.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys.
Yes, sir. Alex Lalonde, your GT3 winner here tonight and champion. So that concludes the GT3 lineups. Let's take a look at the GTPs here. Looks like I'm seeing Mike iRacing. Let's see if I can pull him in here. He might have just disappeared again. He keeps dropping out of this channel, so I'm not sure we're going to get to talk to you.
Honestly, uncanny how that happens.
Yeah, I'm going to pull him right now, but he might disappear. Mike, Blake, and Jesse in the booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing pretty good, but you got the job done tonight, did what you needed to do. You basically just needed to start this race, but you bring home the GTP championship here in Season 3.
Yeah, it was that was probably the most stressful race I've had to run, because no matter what I was doing, my computer kept freezing up constantly and all that. I couldn't figure out what it was. My wheel rebooted on the straightaways a bunch of times. It was just frustrating all around, but happy I got the title.
Yeah, that's good to know. You know, my wheel, when it reboots, it has to, like, spin around, so at least your wheel wasn't turning, I guess.
Yeah.
But, hey, you got the job done here at Daytona. Are you looking forward to Season 4 coming up here in a few weeks?
Oh, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really fun with all the BOP changes and all that, with all the GTPs.
Yep. Well, hopefully, are you aware how many GTPs have signed up so far for that season?
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be competitive.
Oh yeah, well that's gonna be good to see. It's always good to see the I guess the fastest class, whatever you want to call it, would have more cars. But again, you did a great job wrapping up the championship here tonight. Before you head out, you got any shout outs or anything?
Yeah, let me shout out the Elliott Sadler Esports, Tyler, Chris, Julian, my buddy John's probably watching, and my buddy Manny. They're all the homies. They're always watching and stuff.
Yeah, well, good to hear. You know, maybe they can click that like button, subscribe to the channel before they head out.
Yes, sir.
But hey,
Y'all take it easy.
Great job, Mike. You again wrapping up the Season 3 GTP Championship with MCR. Congratulations.
Thank you. Always have a good one. Thanks for broadcasting.
Oh, thank you. Mike iRacing getting the job done here. GTP champion for season number 3. And it's time to talk to tonight's winner, Dominic Ford from Jamaica. Let's see if we can get him in here. Dominic, Blake, and Jesse in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Oh, hello. I do. Hello.
Hey, you got the job done tonight. You know, the race that started off, you were running away with it there, and then the middle stint there seemed like something happened, then you fell back a little, but then at the end, you're able to regain that lead and hold on to it.
Yeah. From the beginning, my game plan was going into this. I was just gonna, save fuel. I'm a big fuel saving guy. Ever since I started doing endurance racing and starting this game, just really wanted to understand how to, maximize the pit stops and, 'cause that's really where the time is. And, that was my game plan going into this. How can I save fuel and not be in the lead? So
Yeah.
that was it. But I enjoyed it. Like you said, there in the middle of the race, kind of fell off track a little bit, trying to get those tires reacclimatized with the car because I changed tires in the pit stop. And, it was really slow there in the beginning. And then I had that mistake on the exit of the bus stop. But luckily I didn't put it in the wall. So I was like, all right, we'll just keep going and try to gain some time. Hopefully traffic will help me out a little bit and I can catch up. And it did for a while there. And eventually towards the end of the race, so just before the pit stop, I was able to get back in the lead. And, I did a short stop on that last stop, and that really helped me to push in the front.
Yeah, definitely worked out. Before that last stop, we just kind of assumed you were going to give up the lead, but whenever you came out of pit road with over 2-second lead, we kind of figured you had it done, won.
Yeah. Luckily, I think I had a 38-second stop altogether in and out of the pit lane, and they had a 41. So I was able to gain about 3 seconds on that. And I didn't change tires, so that was also beneficial. And having warm tires exiting the pits really helped me out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it has to feel good rounding out the season here with season number 3 with a win. Heading into season 4, have you taken a look at the schedule? And if so, what tracks are you looking forward to the most next season?
I have taken a peek, and this is my first race of this season in this league. So I'm really excited, and this race was a really good indicator of what to expect for next season. But looking at the schedule, there's Imola, Interlagos, Portimao, and Red Bull Ring. I mean, those 5 tracks back to back to back are really good tracks. So I'm excited for those, and to end it on Le Mans is I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with that. So I'm excited for that and to see what the next season has. I'll definitely be here. And you seem like a great group of guys to race with, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it should be an exciting season for sure. I think CK mentioned, we're still 3 weeks away from the start. I think there's already 45 cars signed up with a 60-car max, so we might be able to max that thing out.
Sweet, sweet. I'm excited. I'm excited. Can't wait.
Absolutely. But hey, once again, great job getting the job done here tonight, winning it at Daytona. Before you head out, you got any shout outs or anything for our fans at home?
Well, big shout out to you guys. I know this is my first time here. I'm hoping I can hear more of you guys' voices pretty soon, and I'm excited to go back and watch the broadcast and see what that's got in store. And big shout out to the field. Like I said, it's my first time here, but it seems like everybody has their heads screwed on for the most part, and everybody's just trying to get a good race on a Sunday. So I'm excited to see what that's got in store, and can't wait for next season.
Absolutely. Again, winning it here on your opener with the series. Best you can do. So great job again. We're going to send you down to celebrate with your team.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Congratulations. There's Dominic Ford, your GTP winner and overall winner here at Daytona, getting the job done here in the Season 3 finale with MCR Motor City Racing. Again, like CK, Casey Catola, like he said, if you're interested in joining, check out our description. You can join our Discord. We'll point you in the right direction, get you over there and signed up. Season 4 going to start up here 3 weeks from tonight, I believe. Going to be a great season. All kinds of new tracks for at least me and Jesse. I believe I have to buy every single one of them, but going to be a good way to round out tonight was a good way to round out this season. And that's really about all we got. I think we've interviewed all of our champions and winners tonight. Jesse, you got anything to add before we head out?
Yeah, I just want to say, of course, you and Christian have been handling most of these streams. I didn't realize tonight was Dominic Ford's debut, so to come out and win overall your first race in the league, that's got to be a pretty cool moment. And at such a great track like Daytona, definitely job well done to him. Congrats to all the champions for Season 3 of the MCR Multiclass Series, and hopefully we'll see them back for Season 4 so they can defend their titles.
Absolutely. When me and Christian started doing this series, the first couple weeks we had a really low GTP turnout, while the other classes, they turned out. But GTP was low, and I was telling Christian, I said, that's probably my favorite class to watch. I always prefer I always like watching the fastest class out there. And it's good to see a more stout field. I think we had 9 tonight, and next season looks like we're going to get even more. So I'm definitely looking forward to Season 4, and you guys should be too. Again, head on over here to our Discord, Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Be sure, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. We would really appreciate it, and that's really about all we got here. So we're going to round out the night, but signing off in the booth here with Jesse Becker, I am Blake Hutchinson. You're watching Hutchinson Motorsports TV, the world's #1 streaming service. We're going to finish out the night with a couple of promos for you. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright. For the first time ever, IMSA Racing, Hutchinson Motorsports TV, range Wagonaires and GTPs ripping down the front straight. Right there with him, smokes him. Oh my goodness! Oh, the whole field is junk. It's a parking lot. They door slam each other. Checkered flag in the air. It's gonna be too close to call. Oh, he just got smoked. Oh my goodness! Turn. Austin IMSA Racing. Caution is out. You saw a lot. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Toward each other with their chunks